In this lecture, we're going to look at raster versus vector data, and your presenter is Shamaki. Raster versus vector data. Now, this is an instance of satellite imagery of your city. It could be your city, it could be my city, but it's a raster data, a satellite imagery of your city. And then this same by the road other side, that's number two, is the road map showing roads, schools, and boundaries. Now, one side is the real world view of the Earth's surface captured by a satellite. Now, by the other side, it's a simplified map showing selected features such as road, such as schools, such as the boundary. Now, both represent the the same area. So, but why do they look completely different? That's what we're going to find out in this lecture. So, although both represent geographic information, they are stored differently inside the GIS. These two methods of representing geographic data are called raster and vector data. So, two ways GIS represents the real world. A. GIS creates stores information using two major data model. Now, one of the data model is the vector data, and the second is the raster data. So think of it as two different languages used to describe the Earth's surface. Like GIS have two language to which it describes the Earth's surface. Just think of it that way. So we're beginning with the vector data. Now, vector basically represents geographic feature using three items: points, lines, and polygon. So when you see a data represented as point, lines, and polygon, you know it is what? A vector. Think of vector data as a drawing made with geometric shapes. So a GIS draws a school as a point, it draws a road as a line, and a state as a polygon. So what are the characteristics of vector data? And they are high accuracy, they have high accuracy, smaller file size, easy to edit, and best for discrete features. Common use of vector data: the roads. So when we have lines, you know that we use line to represent roads, all right? Then building, we use polygon to represent building. And maybe school, hospitals, we use points to represent them. All right, so it is also used for administrative boundaries, which is still polygon. And utility lines or networks, it's what? Lines. Land parcel, polygon. So these are the common use case of vector data. Number two, the raster data. Now, raster data represents the Earth's surface using a grid of tiny cells called pixels. Each cell contains a value representing information. Think of raster data like a photograph. When you zoom into a photograph, you begin to see tiny squares. Those are pixels. Those tiny squares you see, as you zoom it, keep zooming, you will now begin to see those tiny boxes appearing. Now, those pixels together form the image. So before we proceed, let's have an overview of what a pixel is. So a pixels for short is a short for picture element. Pixel, picture element. It is the smallest unit of an image. Think of it as a tiny square or a dot of color. Thousands or millions of these tiny squares join together to form a complete picture. Imagine a mosaic made from many small tiles. So each tile is equal to a pixel. All the tiles together is equal to the complete picture. Similarly, a digital image is made up of many pixels. So when you take a photograph with your phone, the camera does not draw objects using lines, shapes. Instead, it captures millions of tiny color pixels. If you zoom in far enough on a picture, you will eventually see these tiny squares. What is a pixel? Now, by the time you zoom into any picture, whether it's this one that I use as background on this slide, when you zoom in enough, you're going to begin to see something like this around. So each square box represents a pixel. Pixels in GIS. So in GIS, raster data is made up of what? Pixels, also called cells. So each pixel stores information such as elevation, temperature, rainfall, land cover types, color values in a satellite imagery. For example, you will see a pixel, which is maybe a cell 1, that's grid. The boxes, square boxes we've been talking about. One of it could be forest, the other one water, the other one urban areas, and the other one agriculture. Important concept. Smaller pixels is equals to higher image details, which is higher resolution. Now, larger pixels is equals to less details, lower resolution. So a pixels is to a raster image what a brick is to a building, a builder or building, yes. One brick cannot make a house, but many bricks together form a complete structure. Likewise, many pixels together form an image. Now, if I could ask you questions, like if I have, if I snap a picture from a camera that is a DSLR camera that is 24 megapixels. So what does that mean? So it means that per any picture I snap is going to be carrying 24 pixels on this roll and on this roll. So if I do 24 times 24, I should get roughly around let's take this and let's say I give you a picture, a camera, a DSLR camera that is 24 megapixels, and I ask you to snap. What will you typically have? Now you're going to typically have a 6000 by 4000 pixels. This resolution is sharp, crisp, has a lot of details. So what that means is that by one side of it is going to be 6,000 pixels, and by the other side uh is going to be 4,000. So if you have 6,000 by 4,000, that will be the total number of pixels that a whole picture will have. So that implies that you're going to have a 24 million pixels. When if 24 million pixels come together, that's what we're going to form a full image. So I believe this gives you a better perspective whenever you hear pixels, whenever you hear raster. So they go hand in hand. And from this example I just gave, what a pixel is to an image and what a brick is to a building. Examples of raster: satellite imagery, area photograph, digital elevation models, temperature maps, rainfall maps. So, what are its characteristics? It is good for continuous phenomena, also suitable for surface analysis, larger file size, lower precision when zoomed excessively, right? So, these are two who are good, and the other ones who are not good, but not for every analysis. Depends on what you're doing. Common use cases. Raster are usually used for remote sensing. They're used for analysis of elevation, climate study, and land cover mapping. So raster versus vector. Now we have the characteristics and all of that. So the characteristics of them. So we have the structure here. In terms of vector, it's structure in points, lines, and polygon. The accuracy is high, the size is smaller, the editing is easy. It is best for individual features. Examples are road, buildings, and the characteristics that it is a vector. All right. I think I repeated some of it, but okay. So, um, vector represent data such as points, line, polygons, while raster represent in pixels. And vector is best for road, buildings, and boundary. Raster is best for satellite imagery, elevation, temperature, and rainfall. So vector data represent individual objects, while raster data represent continuous surfaces. Both vector and raster are very essential in GIS and often work together to solve real world problems. Thank you.